Okay, Miss Kelly, thank you for being on the Woman Evolve podcast.
Thank you for having me.
We've had you on before, but this feels a
remember.
little bit more official. I feel like so much has changed since the last time we had an opportunity to talk. So I'm just grateful to have you again.
I am so happy to be here. You know how I feel about you.
I feel like I tell this story all the time. When I first moved to LA, I didn't know where to get my hair done.
Mm-hmm.
I was pregnant not too long afterwards.
Yep.
My edges was coming. I was just struggling.
Girl.
I remember calling you about them edges and you was like, listen, calm down.
Yes.
And you've always just been such a girl's girl, such a consistent presence. And so I'm just grateful that I get to share your light with some of my girls at Woman Evolve.
Thank you. Thank you for always sharing your light with all of us. We love you so much. I love you so much. Thank you.
I love you. Okay, so for this theme, for Woman Evolve, we have a theme each year.
Okay.
Now our theme this year is going rogue.
Ooh.
Isn't that something?
Yes.
So we're looking at all of the ways that we have settled into a life that may be too small, that may be limiting, and really questioning what types of thoughts or behaviors do we need to change? How do we need to go rogue in order to step into the fullness of who we are as women and our identities in God? And so what does going rogue for you look like at this season in your life?
Doing it even when it's uncomfortable, doing it afraid, just going for it. And I think that I still, of course, get scared about like different things. Cause like sometimes I remember listening to something that you said and something that keeps presenting itself. And like for me, like it was like last season. And I kept hearing, if it doesn't scare you, what's the purpose of doing it? And so I keep getting thrown in these positions and moments where I get all these big ideas and I'm like, that's way too big, but it's actually perfect.
Yeah.
Because it's crazy. If it's crazy and it looks crazy and it scares you, you're actually on the right track, you know, because you're going to do all you can I'm going to do all I can to get it done.
Yeah.
Because if it looks that great and my crazy, that means I'm supposed to make it even better. That or better.
Yeah.
For sure.
Do you think, I feel like people have a fear of failure, right?
Of course.
But then I feel like what happens when you've experienced all these successes and it's like, have I reached the limit on how successful I can be? Do you feel like you deal with that? Because obviously you have this incredible career. You are a legend. Like we're just low-key sitting here talking to a legend.
Ditto.
And yet, no. And yet you're still dreaming. What does it feel like to feel like in some people's eyes, I may have reached my potential, but I know that there's still something inside of me?
Well, I mean, whether or not like people have seen like my failures, you know, I have my personal failures or things that I feel like I've failed at. And I still want to beat myself. You know what I mean? Like because I have learned, thank you, God. I've learned that I'm not up against anybody else. It's one of my favorite lyrics from Welcome to the Jungle is when Jay says, I look in the mirror, my only opponent. And I remember hearing that lyric and literally it blowing my mind.
Yeah.
Because for so long, whether it was society or an industry or whatever it might be, so many people use comparison just like often.
Yeah.
Like it's just too often. And it really becomes disgusting to me. And then I heard something about like the comparison being like a trick of the enemy.
Yeah.
And it makes perfect sense because then if you can compare yourself and be like, well, I have that and they don't have that, you keep going back and forth and you start to make it a sport.
Yeah.
And I started to make that mess a sport. And then when I heard this lyric, it was like, oh, I was so happy. I heard it. It truly blessed me. And when it comes to society doing that, they do it too much. And then we get caught up in that.
Yeah.
And I just refuse. But I just want to keep dreaming and keep, just keep, go through the ceiling. This is the ceiling. It's the ceiling. So it ain't no ceiling. Ain't no ceiling,
Yeah, beyond.
Ain't no ceiling, yeah.
I love what you are saying about comparison because I think it speaks to the reality that so many women deal with. And I'm wondering, like, as you have had to navigate womanhood and dream in a world where comparison is just a part of how we live and function, what part has having a healthy heart done for your process in qualifying your dreams?
Everything.
Yeah.
And I think that in having a healthy heart, it was like believing in what was reflected back to me in the mirror. Like, it's taking the time to like really get to know, like, what do you like? Especially coming from a group, you know what I mean? Where we're just like, I'm gonna make sure they're good, I'm good. You know what I mean? It was always that, like this balance. But when I got by myself and spent real time by myself, and I gotta be honest, it didn't really happen till like my 30s.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? In your 20s, you're just comparing away and just, going completely nuts. But in my 30s, I really started to like shift into like my pocket. You know what I mean? And continue to shift in my pocket. And I think between age and, just learning about myself and what my likes are, dislikes are, I had to find that for myself, but I wanted to. You have to want to. Like, you have to actually be like, I'm actually out here. You know what I mean? I feel good about myself. I think my heart is good. I think my eyes are great. I think, find the things and qualities that you love about yourself. And if you can't find any, just start with one.
Yeah.
And then go to 8, because you got a whole bunch of them.
Yeah.
You know what I mean?
They're there.
They're all there. You have to trust and believe that they're there, because if you don't believe that, then no one else will.
Yeah.
I remember going to events, and it would be like, I remember going to this one Oscars function. It was like an after party or something like that. And I was like, I don't belong here. I don't belong here. You know what I mean? Why don't you? I wish somebody would have been there to shake me. Because you belong in every room God puts you in.
Right. Yeah. And your life is such a testimony of that, and your ability to bring your heart into the moment. I think that anyone who knows you, who's ever had a conversation with you, always talks about like your heart and your ability to bring your heart into everything you do. I am thinking about one, you just got off tour.
Yes.
Which was an amazing accomplishment.
Yes, it was.
And you're standing there in your own identity, in your own truth, sharing your gifts and talent. But there was something powerful that happened while you were on tour with your dad. Do you want to tell that story a little bit?
Sarah.
Which, like, I just saw it on the news, but Sarah, you got to tell me about it.
So, I had 33 years without my dad.
Yeah.
And so when I did the tour, it was really incredible to just have this moment just to love on him. Because it was so long. I remember, like, after he and I met, he would always say, nobody believe you, my baby, you my child, and da-da-da-da-da-da-da. And when it was time for a dilemma in particular, I just wanted to sing it to him. And I wanted him to feel seen by me. My daddy's going to be 80 this year.
Wow.
And in that time that he and I didn't have each other, I just wanted to pour into him. You know what I mean? Hopefully fill up what the void was in that time, because he didn't know that was going to happen. You know what I mean? I didn't know that was going to happen. But it was so special because it felt like it was just he and I in the room. And it took everything in me not to cry. Are these tears about to come? No, they're not. But it took everything in me not to cry, because I wanted to be strong for him. And it was just beautiful. And I wanted people to see connection and forgiveness.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Because that's a real, real big deal. And it took a lot of forgiveness, because it was stuff I had to let go of that I was told, by my mom, bless her soul. And it was things that I like, ideas or ideals of him that I thought were true. And I met him, and I remember meeting him for the first time after the 33 years. Like, I knew everything I wanted to say to him because I was so upset. And I knew the questions I was going to ask. And when I got to this room and I saw his face, it was like something just shut me up. I had no thought, no volume, no nothing, like, shh. And I sat there and listened to this man for 2 hours tell me what his life was like without me, what he was doing, how he thought about me every day. How funny enough, he said, and when I went to your concerts, none of the security would let me in. I told them not to let him in because I was like, I don't want to deal with that at that time, and I was protecting myself.
Yeah.
So when it was time to like meet him, I'm telling you, it was just amazing to see his face.
How did you know you were ready to hear his side?
I didn't, because if I'm being super duper honest, you're never really ready. You know what I mean? I think when an opportunity like that presents itself, I knew I was wanting to meet him, but I had this back and forth for so long. And then I had Titan. And it was, I think Titan was 3 or 4. And I was in Atlanta. I remember somebody had set it up for me. And when I was walking to the room where he was, have you ever felt your feet feel like they were not going to move because it was like, they felt like a ton?
Yeah.
That was the first time I had an anxiety attack. And I literally turned to the person with me and I said, I can't, like I literally freaked out. And I said, I can't do this. And they're like, no, you can. You're ready for this. You're ready for this. It was my cousin and my assistant at the time. And so that's when I had all the things in my head. And then when I saw him, boop, nothing.
And so as you look at your life now, that you have him in your life, and in comparison to the times where you didn't have him before, what do you think has been the greatest change or shift in your identity?
Identity. Because here's the thing, I didn't know where I got singing from because my mom swore it was her, but God bless her
that
soul.
One her
she
ministry.
Was like just playing. But in all seriousness, my dad said, oh, baby, your voice is from my side.
Really?
I said, really? He said, yeah, your grandma was a singer. She sang with Lena Horne and Count Basie. Wow. So I was like, like just blown away that I got my identity from, you know what I mean? Yeah. That was great connection for me. And funny enough, when Noah came out, his face looks just like my dad's mama.
Really?
Yes. And the shape, because he got a little round face. We got a little narrow, oval facial shapes. This boy got a little round face, just like my daddy.
Wow.
Same head, everything. And I'm like, oh, wow. So this helps to put the pieces of the tree together. And I love that. That's so restoring for me. And I'm grateful for that.
Being parented while you're parenting.
Yes.
How does that show up in the way that you make choices for your children?
I mean, he just loves listening to us. Like in the mornings, I'll call him when it's just chaos, you know, getting them dressed, getting them ready for school and everything. Just for him to hear it, he's just so fulfilled. He doesn't really say much like when it comes to parenting, or he might take the grandparent approach and say, don't be so hard on him, you know? But he doesn't do much of like he's not overbearing when it comes to parenting. But what's interesting is he can always tell when something is off with me.
Okay.
That kind of freaked me out, to be honest. Because it'll be like maybe like 2 days and he's like, hey, I'm talking to you in 2 days, but are you okay? Like he taps in. His tap-in game is crazy.
Yeah. But I'm just wondering, I guess, as a mother, as you're parenting now, and you are, you know, leaving your children with their identity and what it means to be loved and nurtured and prepared for the world. Like, what are you drawing from that you did or did not receive that shapes the way that you show up in motherhood?
Ooh, I would say, and I hope I'm understanding you correctly, listening. Kind of just like listening to them, being, why is the word ceasing me right now? But being present.
Yeah.
Like when I'm present, like being present, like no phone, talking, chilling, moving, whatever we're doing, just being present. And enjoying it. And sometimes I'll be so present that it's scary because I'm like, how can one be this happy?
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Even when it's like we're going through and I'm trying to figure out what stage we're both going through. Because it's not just one-sided. I've learned with parenting, like you're trying to figure out this new person that is presented to you today who's 5.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Noah just turned 5 and he just knows everything. I had no idea. And this new person, like, you know, I am, like my patience and everything. Like, so we're meeting a new version of each other every day. And I want to still be able to like remember what it was like.
And treasure all the memories along the way. That's what I feel like I'm always challenging myself to do with the girls is to like remember that this is going to be passing.
I know.
It's passing.
It's just, and it's so fast. Like when they say time is a vapor, it's a real thing.
Yeah.
It's a real thing. And I didn't know that until like I looked at how tall Titan was and was like, he's almost eye level with me.
That's crazy.
Isn't it crazy?
No, that's crazy.
It really freaked me out.
You're balancing motherhood, career, marriage, entrepreneurship, teams. Are you stressed?
Yeah.
Yeah. Everyone's like, how do you balance it all? It's like, am I balancing it all?
Yes.
That's the real question.
No, I'm not balancing it all.
Yeah.
I think that like everything is there. It's just what thing at the present time needs more of my attention than the other.
Yeah.
I think that it's not necessarily balanced. It's still all there. It's just not in a particular order.
Whatever comes up.
Order it has to come up, to be honest. So I don't know that there's balance, but we're figuring it out.
Mm-hmm. That's the problem. I feel like that has been one of the most like critical ways that my faith is like constantly guiding me every day. Yeah. Like I can't afford to be religious. Like I really need to have a relationship with God because like at any given moment, this life shifts in a direction that I may or may not be able to handle.
Yes.
And I need wisdom and strategy on like how to show up in those moments. Your faith, I think, is one of the things that I admire the most about you because it you can feel just the presence of God around you.
Thank you.
That it is something that you intentionally carry with you. Mm-hmm. And I feel like you leave light everywhere that you go. How does your faith shape the way that you're showing up in the world?
Experience. I think that I always say my mom planted the seeds, but so did my great aunts.
Okay.
There are some seasons that will definitely be harder than others, where I make more mistakes than other times. Experience definitely, I think, shapes my faith. And some moments I can't even believe like I'm still here.
Yeah.
Other moments I still can't believe he still loves me. And I'm still so blessed and have so much love around me. And I get to be forgiven. You know what I mean? And my faith is my everything. And it's why I'm still here.
Yeah.
It's why I'm still here. I've seen some crazy moments in my life and moments where I was like, I don't think I'm gonna make it out of this one. You know what I mean? And then he's like, yes, you are. You know what I mean? So my faith is everything. I'm grateful for it. And I think in a way, when it comes to parenting, the way faith was all around me as a kid, like as far as like, church and this and that, like it's been really harder to find like a home here when y'all aren't here. It's harder to find a space, and it's like, I remember Sunday school. I remember church and even like paying attention for like a part of it, then like falling asleep. And then, you know what I mean? Like all of, but it's
in you. It gets in you, seeps in.
And I'm always like, how do I do that for my kids?
Yeah.
And I could feel something say it's not just the space, like allow the space to take place here at home. So whether it's us turning on gospel music in the morning, Titan's a part of the gospel choir at school, to reading like a Bible. Titan has a comic book.
Yeah, the comic Bible book. Yes.
And by the way, last night I was so happy. You should have seen me. You could see all my teeth. Maybe the back of my throat. I was so happy. Because we were reading about Joseph.
Okay.
And his dreams, and Titan kept going like this. Oh my gosh, Mama, what's that like? And he was so intrigued, and he was in it. I was like, oh God, you got him. Yeah. I'm so happy. Like, so we keep reading it. So he keeps being intrigued, and he keeps remembering these stories, and he keeps remembering what faith looks like, even when it's hard. But he loves the story of David and Goliath. Like, it's one of his favorite Bible stories. And that was when he was smaller.
Yeah.
So now that he's older, he remembers that that's his favorite story. So he's learning about his new stories.
Yeah.
And Noah's just like getting into it. But we have like this book that's like the Little Blessings. That's like little inserts of like Bible stories in the morning or in the evening that we do. So we're just planting seeds. And even when they're starting to cut up, I started a new thing where I'm like, Father, in the name of Jesus, I ask that you would come right now and help me deal with Titan. And he's going,
is everything okay? Are we okay?
It's really funny. And then I was talking to Sierra yesterday. She said, oh no, girl. She said, take it one step further and make them start to pray after you pray.
Yeah.
And say, well, I was like, oh, that's a good idea. She said, because we go one at a time. I was like, that's a brilliant idea.
Okay, not y'all out here looking like so fly, so trendy, and just like our church mothers in the kitchen. Because what? The gig is up. I'm on to you. Because breaking out into Father in the name of Jesus is the churchiest grandmother.
We have to. It's almost like capturing their attention because Noah goes, what? Like it's really like a yank up. You know what I mean?
It is. And they're going to remember that forever. They'll be like, y'all was listening to my mother's songs, but let me tell you what was happening in the kitchen. Whenever I did something, she broke out into prayer.
Absolutely. If it's not, let's go, bro.
I love that. I was going to ask you, at this stage in your life and your career, so you've done so many amazing movies, you're continuing to just evolve your expression and your voice as a creative, which I think is amazing. Why choose this movie that is faith-based?
Well, I like that it wasn't like forcing the hand of faith. You know what I mean? I like that, it was more so these humans that are going through life at a real time. It was honest and authentic, and it's meeting them where they are. And those are Christians I know.
Okay, can we wait a minute? Let's backtrack a little bit. Hold on, because they don't know because they ain't seen the movie yet. Yes. Okay, let's backtrack because when we hear faith-based movie,
people are like, oh, it's gonna be.
Yeah, everyone in the cast is already saved.
Yes,
and like blood washed.
Yes,
and just
this ain't that.
Just skirts down to the ground. They're already there.
Yes.
So when we go into the faith-based movie, we're prepared for altar call. It's really like an altar call movie.
Yes.
This is more like
the real world.
Yeah. It represents an honest demographic of people who understand who God is, but not necessarily how I incorporate or integrate a faith into my relationship decisions or career decisions. And when I sat down to watch the movie, here I am thinking to myself that I'm going to be like entering into the church.
Yes.
Did you? I didn't know what to expect.
Okay.
But what I loved about the film is that it is a departure from what we experienced in a more traditional faith-based film because it is a people-based film and it's people who are trying to figure out what does faith look like for me and at this stage of my life and how do I integrate it into my decision making? Should I integrate it into my decision making?
Yes.
And so I love that it widens the lens on what it means to experience faith.
Yeah.
And so I'm curious, like, as you're reading through the script and you're choosing this story to be a part of what will be your legacy as an actor, like what was the message that you were hoping to convey?
Oh my goodness. The biggest one for me was letting go. With Leah, when you meet her, she's just in control. She's got a hold of everything. She's just like moving and shaking and it's all at her power. You know what I mean? In her control. And you see her at her job space and she loses a bit of that control.
Yeah.
And you see her, in her personal space and she literally just feels like she has the control. But as soon as she actually just kind of like opens up her hand a little bit, she gets a piece of love.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? But with the love also comes forgiveness.
Yeah.
With the forgiveness comes the letting go. You know what I mean? Like I don't want to tell too much, but I fell in love with her because I understand how hard it is to let go. I feel like I probably go through that lesson, every other season because I'm thinking I know what I'm doing and I'm like, no, you don't. Just let it go. And I'd say with grief, because I experienced grief.
Yeah.
She and I were so lined up.
I like when I read the plot and I know that she had lost her mom and I wondered how navigating that role was going to be for you.
I was like, I knew what that felt like.
Yeah.
When she went to the site and she just had to just let it go. Like the letting go for me is the biggest thing, the biggest lesson that Leah had to learn. One of the biggest lessons she had to learn and just letting God, and I love all the lessons with all of the characters. You know what I mean? I'm really excited for people to see this film because I love that you said it's a people film.
Yeah.
Because it is a people film. These are real humans dealing with some big emotions and big like moments in their life. And like I was saying earlier, like I have some girlfriends who are going through their season of single. Well, they feel like it's loneliness.
Yeah.
But I'm like, how lucky are you to get to take delight in yourself in this season? I think that we think about it in a way where it's just loneliness. I remember my season of loneliness. Yes, I do. I'm not going to count that out because that's a real feeling. But I do feel like taking a delight in yourself and just working on you is also a plus. Because P.S., when you get married also, you're still learning about yourself. And the dynamic changes even greater because you're making space, of course, or having space for your partner as well, your spouse as well. And then when you add more to it, here comes some cheering you got to figure out as well. And then the parenting factor. Figure out this beautiful space of what kind of wife you want to be, what kind of mom you want to be, how you want to balance it all. Like write down your plan. This is your plan to be strategic.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or figure out your strategy for how you want your future to be. I wish I would have actually done that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Probably would have really stressed him out a little less.
I know, that's what I was just thinking. If I'd have done that, PT probably would have been in better shape too. Because, honey, I don't know who I am.
Yes. I'm still figuring that out. And I'm going to continue to evolve, no pun intended. But I'm going to continue to evolve. But at least I have some of these other just tidbits just kind of lined up. Like, I like that. I don't like when you say that to me like that.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Or I like to be told this like this. I really hear what you're saying. You know what I mean? It just helps you to communicate with yourself and everybody else better.
You know, I know that the movie is about, Leah and her love interest, but I feel like the real relationship goals were the friends.
What?
Nah, they was down.
They were down.
When Brenda went to her
Teresa's house?
Yes, after the whole little situation. See, I don't want to give it away. It just speaks to the power of like sisterhood.
Yes, it does.
And I feel, especially for women, that friendships are more romanticized in some way than romantic relationships.
Yes.
And when you have good women in your life, when they are going through a change and transformation, it is contagious. It took one woman saying, hey, we need to do better to really create a chain reaction. Isn't that powerful?
It's so good. Yes, I agree.
I feel like it's the strength of the movie. Is that part of what you were drawn to as well?
Yes, absolutely. When the girls were like bouncing off of the pages and I could see like what it felt like. And then when I read with them, it was incredible.
Yeah.
Like I could feel it just from my first read. You know what I mean? And knowing that it needed to feel like that, like in my imagination.
And Leah changed. I feel like Leah was the last one to kind of really get on the good foot. You know, she took a little minute to get on the good foot. But once she got there, I think her giving herself permission to, this is going to sound crazy, but I think what she did to betray who she thought she had to be in order to stay safe.
Yes.
Like she gave herself permission to betray that version of herself.
Yeah.
And I feel like that's the greatest tension that women experience is like, I am protecting a version of myself that I really don't even need anymore.
Yes.
Which means in order for me to break up with that version of myself, I'm going to have to a certain extent, betray that safety.
Yes.
And we see her step into that in a way that I felt like was just so intentional.
But that's so beautiful the way you summed it up.
Yeah.
Because that's a real thing. And I think that, like, by the way, sometimes I can hear that version of myself show up in times where in a time, and I'll think for a second that's how I'm supposed to handle it. I'm like, no, we've already been through that. You gotta be quiet. You know what I mean?
Yeah,
like,
I call that the Eve version of myself. Like she know better, but she don't do better, but she's still here on the ride.
I'm like, no. I literally say, I know, I get this, but I got it.
Yeah,
I got it. You can sit down now, and it does help.
Yes, it does.
And I thought that for a second, like I would be like kind of crazy to do that, but Tim has seen me doing it. He's like, looking at me kind of crazy because I'm like, no, trust me, she was about to have you out here. You about to be mad at
you was
me
gonna be in trouble
for an hour, but I had to sit her down. You know what I mean? Like I just, sometimes you got to just sit her down.
Have you ever gone through a stage in your life where you felt like you had to prove your worth or your worthiness to be loved?
Yes. Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Several seasons pop up for me. And it really cost me so much joy. it cost me so much joy because here I am thinking I had to be one way, and the way that God really truly made me, like authentically me, was the best way I needed to show up.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? It's like Annie with her shape shifting. Is that what you call it?
Yeah.
Shape shifting. Like, yeah, I definitely went through some shape shifting seasons for sure.
I feel like one of the things that I liked about relationship goals too is that some of the things that they thought were goals for a relationship like actually weren't goals.
Yes.
You know?
Yes.
And I am wondering, like, you've been married now for almost 12 years?
Yes.
Ah.
Wait, we share that the same, don't we?
Well, it'll be 12 for us in November.
Yeah.
I'm wondering, like, what are relationship goals that you thought were goals that, like, now that you're married, you realize weren't goals at all?
I remember I thought, what did I think? I thought so much though.
Because Leah had a list of what she felt like. Leah was like, it needs to be this, and that. And then she had to throw her list away.
Yes. I mean, for me, I remember thinking, mine always had to do with comparing. I was naughty and I always compared. And I love my husband the way he is.
Yeah.
Because he makes me laugh. He's funny. He's just so smart. So he challenges me.
Yeah.
And I used to not be able to take that.
Oof.
I used to think that like relationship goals was like them agreeing with everything and, always wooing. And he'll be honest with me. You know what I mean?
And like, why they do that? Why they be honest with you?
I like, but at a time I didn't like it.
And I've had to learn to not see it. Well, one, I think my like self-worth was connected to his feedback. So it's not just like that wasn't a good idea. It's like, you're not smart. That's how I heard. You know what I mean? I'm like, so now I'm not smart.
Right.
Or like this idea could be better. We could do it differently.
Yes.
And I couldn't receive his feedback without taking it personally.
That's me. That was me.
Yeah.
That was me.
But I've gotten so much better.
Me too. I'm so happy for you.
No, I'm happy for us.
I know, we did good. We totally allowed some space for us. Correction in the most beautiful way.
And it's what we need. Because like, why would you be in a partnership where your perspective doesn't expand or grow?
Yeah.
And I think that that's what happened for me.
I'm happy.
I have one more question for you.
Yes.
So a lot of times women believe that love and success can't live in the same place, whether it's romantic love or even just motherhood, right? Like having to balance loving your children and how you want to be present for them in success, or friendships as you're like scaling your businesses or climbing the corporate ladder.
Yeah.
How do you challenge that notion that love and success can't coexist?
I mean, we learn to do it. We actually do it every day.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? I'd say don't sell yourself
that's
short.
good.
I think that when you're actually figuring out how to do it, you're figuring out how to do it.
That's great.
And also like whatever it is that you need at the time, everything else is going to benefit off of it. It's like, I needed a girls' night a couple of weeks ago, but I had a free night with the boys. But I've been pouring myself so much into motherhood, and I didn't have any time for my girls because I just got off the tour. You know what I mean? And after the tour, I poured myself back into the house.
Right.
So I remember I was like, no, I'm just going to leave. I'm going to leave the house. And Jim was like, okay, go on. We'll see you later. I ended up spending the night at Angie's house, who is literally like over the hill from me, and I got a chance to hang out with her, and it was so much fun. And then like prior to that, like me and Tim would have a date night pretty much every other night when I was on tour because like the boys were in their bunks. They loved being in their bunks. Usually they're in the bed with us. I was like, no, I get my boyfriend every night. This is fantastic. So like, I don't know, we can't travel everywhere with a tour bus, but it was great that the boys were in their bunk because I could just hang with my boo. Yeah. So whatever I need at the time, I'm like, let's go.
Yeah, you're figuring it out. Well, you're doing a phenomenal job.
Thank you.
And I feel like this movie is going to resonate to so many women who are trying to figure out, how do I balance it all? And is it my job to balance it all? And what does surrender look like? So thank you for another contribution.
Thank you.
Of beauty in the earth.
Thank you. Thank you for having me. I love talking to you.
I love you. I love you.
I love you back.